Have you measured, or can you tell us, you're telling me from earlier studies that they've shown that there are endorphins released by this music. Is it comparable to the endorphins from exercise or eating hot food? Is that level rush that causes people to become not addicted to it in a drug sense, but to want to come back for more?
It could be. There's actually been studies where people were given endorphin blocking agents and then exposed to music. And their enjoyment of the music was comparatively much less than the ones that hadn't been given the endorphin blocking substance, whatever that is. So there's certainly something in music that does that in general. And I would argue that it's particularly powerful in this very simple, basic structure. There are other studies that show that the more intellectual the music gets, the more of an intellectually pleasing pursuit it gets, but the less visceral it gets, the less maybe that type of effect we're talking about is present. Well, and so I think there's something very important to say, because even though the chordal structure and the rhythmical structure often is very simple and basic, it takes tremendous skill to play the blues well. You have plenty of people expressing this. Mike Bloomfield talks about how he would listen to his heroes and he would try to emulate what they played note for note, and it just didn't speak the way his heroes' music spoke, and he was tremendously frustrated. And then he arrived at an understanding that, okay, I can't copy, I can't reach that this way. What I have to do is I have to connect to my own tradition, I have to connect to my own emotional background, I have to connect to my own cultural background. He was Jewish, he was American, he connected some of those elements into his expression in the music and connected that with the moments he was in, and then he started feeling like, okay, I'm starting to get a voice. I'm starting to say something. But it takes a tremendous, both, I believe, connection back to tradition, but also a willingness to dig deep in your own tradition, your own personal universe, and then pull that forth, that synthesis of tradition and personal immersion. And that is a important thing to say, because the music is by no means simple. This is not an easy thing to do. It actually takes great musicianship to abstract enough that you go into that almost trance-like state where you can express from that place. And it's that ability to make art that is so unquantifiable, so difficult to pin down, but it is a felt quality, and it's coming from a place of, I believe, a synthesis of what's within and what is experienced, what has been taught, and what is a connection in that moment to whatever is around. And therefore it is always changing, and it is always poignant when it is real, when it's real blues, when it's real art, at whatever level we're talking.